Good morning, Wandalynn. Thank you so much for coming to our podcast.
Thank you for inviting me to the DNY, or as I say, the YNG show. I very much appreciate the opportunity to be here and to share with you guys and the community.
We are so excited.
Good morning, Wandalynn. Good morning, Miss W.
Okay.
We're looking fab with the hair.
Yes.
Accessory and looking very cash and just doing your thing today.
Yes. I must represent the best that I can.
Yes. You're representing. You're
I try my
representing.
best.
Yes.
Your inner self,
Yes.
your inner beauty.
Yes, I want all that to be out there and shine, and to spread that to the community and to empower people to kind of move it up.
We are
move
happy
forward.
to have you here.
Thank you.
It's shining.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Is that silk, your head?
my hair color is I'm actually a full grayish color hair, but this headpiece and why I wear it this way is it's my faith. I will let you know that I'm Muslim. My father was Muslim. He was Indonesian, but I didn't grow up with my dad. So I grew up with my mom, and I grew up in New York. And traveled many places, though. But I grew up in a place on the Lower East Side where basically I grew up around all races, all religions, and I grew up in that kind of world, just accepting people they are. But it is my religion. I raised my children Muslim, and so the religion in Islam, just like anything else, it's while we all have our different cultures, but I'm from New York. I was born in New York City. I mean, this is me. This is my personality. What I must do is cover myself in modest, my hairpiece. Always have that. That's part of it. So that's why I wear my hair this way, because I wear my scarf this way. When I'm in the mosque, I wear it this way, do prayers. You can do those kind of things. People think that it's just, all like hijabs and niqabs, and it's people's choices, and that's between them and God. But just the fact that I cover my head, this is how I like to wear it in the afternoon. Yeah, and it is, and it's my style too, and it's even African.
I was going to say, because I
Latino.
thought you got married and, you married a Muslim man. You chose to be Muslim. But I didn't know you were brought up Muslim.
To be Muslim.
Yeah, I wasn't in my house. No, I was not. My mother didn't raise me to be a Muslim.
Okay.
My father was Muslim.
Right.
But the thing is, it's funny how the world works and how the Creator just has it going on. I'm the only one who actually married a Muslim and practiced Islam, and I'm Muslim. I mean, and how I see it is, to me, everybody submits to someone, but I submit to Allah, and He to me is the only God.
Do you
and
worship the 5 times a day?
Yes, I do. I pray 5 times a day. Yeah. But you know what the thing is funny about it, when we're talking about Islam, a lot of times when you're growing up and when you're not born in a Muslim country, people see things and they just think it's, you just pray. And like I said, people make it kind of more cultural. Yes. They do this, they do that. The reality of it is it has to be in your heart. It has to be in your heart. You have to work on it. Just like everything else, it's a practice. You must practice it, not just doing just the prayer. It's believing in the prayer. It has to hit your heart. That's the bottom line. And so that to me is what it's about. And that's the kind of Muslim I am. And inshallah, I pray, because just like I used to tell other people who are of other faiths and even my own, I say to them, what you need to understand is, though, it's no, just because you do good deeds and practice whatever, that's not the only thing. And it's not guaranteed that you might get to heaven. You still got to pray and ask for the mercy that you do get to heaven, because it's not your choice and you're not in control. So this is, this is who I am in my life.
Do you consider yourself a religious woman?
To me, I consider myself a very religious and spiritual. I mean, if you think about who I am and what I am, and I feel as though Allah made me who I am and has given me, and everybody else, He's given you really what you need, and He's given you signs. For instance, you see the sun come up and down. Man didn't do that.
Right.
Okay.
That's all nature.
Yes, and I respect other people's. That's one thing about me as well, though. And what you have to understand is, all Muslims and people as people, I'm one of those people. Yeah, I accept people wherever they are. wherever they are. And I raised my children, and I says, one thing I was told my daughter, I said, let me explain something to you. I don't care who you meet, whether they're Muslim, whether they're Jewish, whether they're Christian, not, non-faith. If you feel as though their heart's not right, leave them peaceful. Because it's about peace, really. And I'm about a person who's about peace. But you know what I mean? And moving on. I'm not one that, and my religion also teaches that. But what I'm saying, it teaches it, but I put it into practice as well.
That's great.
So many things have happened to me, and I've had so many experiences. I don't concern myself to get revenge or to spend my time having anger in my head or cursing them out. No, I practice that introspection and seeing them where they are for whatever reason. Because to me, I trust my God so much that at the end, hey, it's their choice. That's my faith, He'll take care of that. It's okay.
How do you flush your anger out? How do you heal yourself?
Myself? Who I talk to Allah. In my prayers, I talk to God. I cry. I'm human. He made me human. I cry. I whatever. He knows. I ask him to forgive me. You understand, like that. I don't get to the point where I'm just cursing them out, acting whatever. To me, it's a waste of time. That person is who they are for whatever their reason they are. Everybody has good and bad in them. Everybody has good and evil in them. So and do things like I said. We're made human. Okay, so and to me, Allah, He knows how He made us, and He knows me better than I know myself. Right? That's our faith. So the thing is about just knowing, and what He wants, and my only purpose is just to praise Allah, and that's all I only really praise. I just praise Allah. I love people. Humans can take you just but a certain limit, and we're also basically we're just like the trees. Look at the trees. The sun brings it with the water and the seasoning, right? The trees are green.
They're different seasons.
Right. And when the seasons change, and the seasons do change, right? The leaves fall and they die. They change colors and they die. But then they come up again.
A rebirth.
Yeah. This is us humans. So with me, Allah, there's nothing that He can't do. So that is practice. That is seeing, that is part of life and experiences, and that's how I handle how I handle living and handle going through and dealing with whatever I have. It's very difficult to get me to the point where I truly lose control, because I already know I have the breast protection right there. I already know who to go to.
That sounds like the best way to raise your children.
Yes,
right?
Yes, I raised them like that. I mean, they were born Muslim. They went to the mosque. We did all these kind of things. Right. I do fasting. I do Ramadan. All these other things, and I'm still learning, which is great. And they still learn. I still pray for them. But there are certain age they do whatever they want to do, but they cannot say that they were very introduced to it. They grew up in a Muslim home.
They were exposed to it, and if they choose to
right.
Be a different faith or marry outside of
yes,
not marry a Muslim land, you're fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not my choice. Because I see parents, sometimes we have our children, but we have to understand our children really are our gifts. They are our gifts. And we really don't own them. We're there to guide them as possible, as much as whatever God Allah wants us to give to them, and we've given to them. But yes, they have their choice. I have a daughter. She decided that she did not want to be Muslim anymore. She's married to a non-Muslim. But guess what? I don't love her any differently. She knows about that. I pray for her. I leave it alone, but I respect who she is. My daughter, oh my God, I love my daughter. But I don't love my daughter or my children or anything in this world more than I love Allah. And I go to the house. I still pray in the house. My grandchildren see Grandma, I'm like, okay, hold on. Grandma's got to do her prayers. When I fast and do my Ramadan, I do all that I'm supposed to do, I take care of. So, and the thing is I grew up in New York City, and I tell people I know so many more non-Muslims than I know Muslims, and I've been around non-Muslims more than I've been around a lot of Muslims. So, and two of the closest people to me that really know me also are non-Muslim, and they're still good to me. But that's who they are. So I'm
You're
I'm
very
very
open.
accepting. I'm a very open person.
You're very comfortable
I'm comfortable
with all
around
types
different-
of people.
Yeah, no matter where they came from, what have you, because, I didn't make them, and like I said, my children, they're gifts to me. I don't own them. Allah created them, not me. But I'm there, try to guide
You're
out.
still guiding them, yes.
Yeah. Example, like my daughter, one day I went to her house. She lived off campus. And I opened her refrigerator, and I saw alcohol in her, some bottle was a vodka and everything. I said, "Oh, Saida." I said, "You drinking now?" I said, that's just how I responded. I said, "Oh, you drinking now, huh?" I said, "Oh." I said, "I just want you to know, just so you'll know," I said, "your grandmother was an alcoholic, and it kind of changes, in generations.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to just let you know that." That's how I respond. Leave it alone. She is alcohol.
You put that little
Yeah.
that little tidbit out there.
Yeah, I'm not that person.
That little idea
Yeah, I
out
don't
there.
judge
So
her.
she'll think about it.
But little notification, that little notification.
Yeah.
helps
There's love there.
because-
She knows I will tell everybody, and everybody that knows me, they know I love my daughter. My daughter had to tell me, "Mama, I'm grown now. You don't got to answer for me." That's how much, because those are that's your mother. You have that attachment to your children, and I do love my children, and I know what's out there in the world. But I accept who she is, and she respects me. Her husband, I love. Most mother-in-laws don't like their son-in-law sometimes. I love my son-in-law. He's not Muslim, and he's okay.
So it's like
but
you have more
respect.
than 4 children because you are closer to your in-laws.
Yeah, my son-in-law, we're cool, and I'm the kind of mother too. I don't like some mothers. I know they're there. Their kids get married. They're so into the kids' lives.
They're like an attachment.
Yeah, I'm a mother that it's like, hey, I'm the kind of mother like, well, you know what? You're grown now. Go. It's like, okay, go into the world. I'm here. I want to keep knowing what you're doing. I'm here. My daughter has the grandchildren, so I'm with them all the time. My sons, they're grown men. Grown men and grown men. But I talk to my sons. I love my sons. They're living their life. I know what they're doing. That's all. And I told them, okay, so when you get married and everything, make sure, they'll invite me. You know what I mean? I know what's happening in their lives, and I'm close.
You're keeping those lines of communication
right.
open.
Yeah.
That to me is very important. But I can call them, for instance, like I spoke with my son this morning, and also I'm the kind of person, like I said, I've been taking care of me, so I don't ask anybody really for much. I'm one of those people that it's hard for me to ask people for things because I've been taking care of me all the time since I was a young child, right? Mm-hmm. So, and especially asking my children. So I had to call my son today and ask him for something, and he knows, he's like, "No, Ma, you don't even have to. Don't worry. You don't have to give it back to me. You don't what have you." I'm like, "Yeah, but I want to." You know what I mean? Because I don't ask my children, and I don't ask people for anything. And I'm the kind of person, if I ask you for something, that means I really need it at that time. But I don't do that. That's like a seldom thing that I ever do.
But to give you something must be like a joy.
Yeah, it's for me to see that and see my son being the kind of son he is and whatever. Yeah. I was like, I blessings, but I love my son. That's my oldest son. Mm-hmm. I love him. He's, and my children, as far as I'm concerned, alhamdulillah, as far as this world, they're successful. And I thank Allah for my children of where they are, because I sacrificed my career for them. I feel like, okay, you know what I mean?
You did a good job as a mom.
You did. He did it for him.
Yeah, but you did it together with Allah.
You're so humble.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm a very humble person is what I'm trying to say. I'm humble. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Yeah, I do things. Yeah, I do things. Yeah.
You could say, look at my achievements. Look at my children. They're great.
But I'm not but that's the kind of person. I'm a very humble person. And, yeah. So that's where that is.
That's where that's the smile coming.
Yeah.
The joy, seeing what they're accomplishing.
Yes.
They keep on accomplishing.
Yes,
you gave them that foundation, like I always say to a lot of our guests. Right. And, you letting them go. Yeah. See ya. If you need help, I'll guide you, but you're on your own. Mm-hmm. Spread your wings where they go.
Exactly.
That's how they can fly high.
Exactly. Yep. That's what it's about. It's like, go ahead. It's funny, yeah.
It's not easy, though, to let your children...
No, it's not easy. Parenting, I think, to me, is, I don't care what people say, that's the toughest job. It's not the military. It's not.
That's true.
That's the toughest, because you that point where you do have to let them go, and where you see things that they're doing that you really know the outcome, but you're still going to stand back. You know, especially like when it's their first loves and this and that, and you see them with somebody, you're like, okay, you still treat the person nice, you still whatever, but you already know, but it's like if you interfere and say, no, that ain't right, they're still going to do it. You got to let them. In other words, we grew up, we had to go through our trials and tribulations, our pains. They got to go through it too, because if they don't, some people, they just need to learn it that way and experience. And if they don't have that experience and they thinking you're not their savior all the time.
They have to learn from the mistakes. Sometimes they have to experience the hard knocks in life.
Yes.
I only have one child, one son.
Oh, beautiful.
And my mother has 3 of us. So she kept on saying, to become a true mother, you have to have 3 children. So in that sense, I failed.
You're not a lesson, Mom. One can be tough too.
Yes, I tell my mom, one is tough because I have to be his playmate as well as sibling, as well as mother.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I think one was enough for you.
Yeah.
Some people can deal with more than one child.
Yeah. How many did you have any? Debbie?
No, I couldn't have any. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I play with my cousins and.
Good.
So I was with my grandparents. Was around my cousins, so my 3 or 4 other cousins.
Oh.
And then there was other little cousins that came, so we got to
be with them.
With them. So I kind of know about kids indirectly.
That's okay. Well, the good thing about it, you didn't have to change any diapers.
No, I don't think I don't miss that. No,
that's what I meant. Yeah, the diapers and the fact that you
staying up all night.
Exactly.
When they have fever, you are up all night.
Yeah.
You worry more about yourself when they get sick.
Right. And you get your downtime, so you can meditate, which is a good thing. And
that is a great daughter, though.
Huh?
If I only have one child,
right.
So if I could pick one child, I would pick her.
With Debbie,
I
would pick Debbie too. I'd be like, Debbie, come on, let's go hang out. Come on, I would take her like, let's go. We're going. Let's go. Yeah. She'll be like ready.
Yeah,
like,
let's go.
Like, mommy, let's go.
I'm going. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's a great thing. And I used to tell people that, I used to say, excuse me, I'm not raising houses. I don't care how the house looks. I'm raising children. Let's go. We're going out.
Like I tell people, whenever somebody comes to my house, this is living.
Yeah.
It's not a museum.
Exactly.
It's going to be a little dusty. It's clean, but...
Yeah. We could get around, right?
Yeah, there's going to be dishes maybe in the... Well, they won't be in the sink, but they'll be drying, and
right.
I see some clothes in the clothes dryer.
Whatever.
You came to see me.
Right. And I didn't even invite you over. No, I'm too busy. You got to go. I'm doing something right now. Yeah, it was that. But, and it's funny. I told my kids earlier, too. I said, let me explain something to you. I did not even want kids. Your mother didn't even want to be married, okay? I said, but look, for a person who didn't want kids and be married, I said, you should say alhamdulillah. I said, but if you want to change moms, you can go right now. I said, I'll hand you over to DIFUS if you want. I'll be with child welfare. I said, you know what I could do? I said, if I hand you over, you know what mommy could do? Boy, I could sleep. I could start dressing, spending money on me. I said, I could hang out right now. I said, but hey, I'm here with you. So don't complain. I used to tell them
you're
that.
The 24/7 mom.
yeah. And then I was a person, like, I was very involved in the community, in their schools. I was that PTA president in 3 schools. I was.
You were?
Yeah, I were.
Wow.
I was a parent leader I raised my children in Jersey City, so I was a parent leader. I knew all the superintendents. I was involved in everything. So it's like, even though I didn't have my PhD to be the psychologist I wanted to be, I was very involved.
You already had that potential, right?
Yeah, I was pushing that.
You already participated.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I needed to know.
Do it in action.
Yeah. It's funny you said that. Yeah, I'm an action person.
You didn't have to do like an internship in college.
No, I wish I didn't, right?
You already did the internship.
Yeah, right? It's like, can you just give me my PhD of life right now? Like, really? But no, but that actually is still one of my goals. I love learning, and I really, that's something I'm working on my bucket list. I want to go back to school. I want to get my master's or PhD, at least my master's. But I always said I want a PhD.
In psychology?
Well, I wanted to be a psychologist, but, I met this woman who she heads the she's like the dean of social work at Seton Hall University. I met her because I was involved with an organization and pertaining to homelessness, and I was speaking at Seton Hall with this organization. And she had asked the woman in charge, who is this woman? And she wanted to meet me, so I talked to her. So she told her, at first she was like, because she was going to say, trying to get me to go to school as a social worker at Seton Hall. When she heard me and she met me, the woman, the dean, she says to me, no, you know what? You should go into law. So I said, yeah. And I said, really? I said, that's funny because I'm about, fighting for justice for people, especially with these oppressed societies that we live in all over the world.
Yes.
So that's one of my goals, and see what kind of way I can kind of get there. And it's not necessarily law school, but a way to work with.
There's
just
probably
having
another
justice
avenue you can go.
Yeah, because there are things that I can do.
You don't always have to have degrees too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and I know a lot of people who have different organizations that deal with equal justice and different things. So
performance, just your sidekick.
Huh?
Performance, and you're just performing as a sidekick.
Actually, no. As far as performing and theater and the arts, I love, and I've always liked, when I was in college, when I was in high school, wherever I was, I always liked performing. I love improv. I love, you say something or create a scene, and my imagination goes. I have this great imagination. Right. So I was a psychology major, but I used to work with the drama teacher and
Did you have a minor in that? Or
no, I didn't have a minor.
Or you just were?
No, I just love acting, whatever, and I've been around. And where I lived in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, also around the corner from me, Miles Davis used to come downstairs in this area. We used to hear them, and he used to jam, and it's funny. Like through my life, even I've met people. I'm like, how do I meet these people? This is someone who
you mentioned Harry Belafonte.
Yes, Harry Belafonte. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But to answer the question, that is that basically that art for me and utilizing art and visual art is for the purpose of activism, because art is something expressing you're trying to communicate. Right. Whether you're doing it through painting, whether you're doing it through drama or performing. But so I utilize it for that. I'm not trying to be that celebrity. I'm trying to get to Hollywood.
Like actress.
Yes, I'm not. I mean, I have those. I'm not trying to.
You're
do
speaking
that.
your word.
Right.
Yeah.
This is how I'm doing my advocacy. This is how I'm doing my empowerment. This is how. And this monologue that I just wrote, which I performed part of it because I had to condense it because of the time. We had at least almost 40, 30, over 30 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and even my speech, I just changed it up and I just spoke real quick. I had a different spiel for that as well. But I created this monologue and I want to utilize it as an intro because I'm going to work on doing a one-act play. I have two other pieces that I wrote already, and I have about 4 other pieces I want to do, and then I want to go, since I know so many different people, and find a way. Even if I did it in a lounge,
you should
or off Broadway.
You should create that, and maybe you can present that at Lincoln Center in that room they have.
The stage.
Yeah.
They have a stage there, a side stage. Because I've went to quite a few of the free events on a Saturday night, and they had different types of people speaking their word, having a band, different, they had 10 different instruments, and they're playing a continuous flow, song of whatever they talk of activism, or their culture.
Right.
You seem to fit perfectly on that stage.
Thank you so much for that.
So
I think about as
because
well.
they're looking for, I don't know anybody there, but I think you can probably contact somebody there.
Thank you. Yeah. Somebody mentioned also PS MoMA 1. MoMA 1, I think it's PS 1.
PS1 in Queens. That's, off Court Square on the 7 train.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So basically what I'm doing is because that's what has been on my bucket list, and I said I want to create a one-act play. And that play is that is like an intro to that one-act play. But that's what I'm going to be utilizing.
But I'll tell you one thing. I like when you started from the back.
Oh, you did?
I think you need to do that again.
I will. No, I will.
Yeah,
No, I will.
because it's
Yeah.
very powerful. Because
you.
you're
Yeah.
looking around like, who's talking? You know,
Right.
you're looking around.
That was a
Right.
great presentation.
Oh, thank you.
And I was like,
Your entrance.
yes, I was at the
was
right
like,
spot.
oh,
I'm sitting
you
here
started
and I'm
sitting.
taking, filming it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
was like,
that.
yes,
Thank
I
you.
got
Thank
it.
you for that feedback.
I got it.
Yeah, thank
It was
you
a
so much.
grand entrance.
Thank you. Yeah, and I appreciate the feedback because this is what I want to get. You know what I mean? And this is why I said, okay, let me perform this one. This is just the intro. Let me see the feedback I'm getting. And I will say, and this is like a piece of work that first piece of work that I'm really compiling, that I'm like presenting to the public. So it made me feel good that even though it was condensed, the intro and even the speech and everything, I got feedback that was positive, and I just
Yes.
felt good because my purpose of it is, okay, the message got across.
People
That's
could,
what's- I
people
was
could
part of it.
feel what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it had this essence that
Right.
it was thrown to us like directly.
Right.
It just grabbed my heart, grabbed her heart.
Oh.
So
Thank
it was
you so
very
much. Thank you.
powerful.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do, and that's why like I did that piece. I said, okay, so like even like now, like I'm gonna be like working on it, or even for the background, because the images, the photographs, because I do photography as well. So I did all the images. I took that myself.
Yeah, the images were perfect.
Yeah, I did that and everything, and I'm gonna be working on the adding more sounds to it. So those kind of things, like I'm working on that.
Yeah, I think the
But
sound, you need more sound.
Yeah, I
But
need more sound for
The
the beginning.
photography was fabulous.
Thank you.
Did you create the sound as well? or-
No, I didn't. I utilized GarageBand, and I took sound effects, and I had iMovie. I
Did you
used
create
iFilm.
your own sounds, or
I have sounds that I'm going to be creating myself. That's what it is for
that's
certain
what's
parts. I'm
good
gonna-
about
I can speak.
GarageBand. You could create
Yeah.
your own music.
Yeah, and actually, like I was telling you, since I have all this equipment that I'm going to be having at home, and I also have a keyboard at home already.
Nice, okay.
So
Wow.
I'm going to be creating sounds. And the thing is I was at a class, the music theory class.
Oh, you
and
take?
I took the music
yeah.
theory. I took all 3 of those classes, and then so I was one of the volunteers that kind of was jamming with Brandon, which was great. And then I practiced, and I sang a few pieces, and I got feedback from Jen, and she was like, "That was really nice." I said, "Really? I didn't know." I said, "My voice, I feel like, well, I really can't sing." So I'm gonna just do some pieces with my voice,
That's
and
wonderful.
I'm gonna add it to that. But it's gonna be like a singing, and then also some other sounds. Try to create some sounds myself to put in there. And it started, and throughout, like I said, the other monologues that I'm going to be having that are adding for this
Yeah,
play.
you
It's a
can
one-act
have the
play.
music match
Yeah.
the level, whatever octave, whatever they
Octave,
call it,
yeah.
octave you're at.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that. So I have a keyboard. So these are things like, and this is, to me, it's like so great because this also is something that, besides Allah, just having this ability and the skills that I have to do this, because creating all of this and getting everything together for the showcase, it was like, oh God, this is what I love doing. This is what I want to do. It's like it's in me, and I was able to express it and bring all this out. I was up like 5 in the morning, after 5 in the morning, and I would go lay down 30 minutes, and then I had to get up, and then I had to go to work, and then I had other things that I'm doing, right? Because so many other things that I'm involved in. So it was good, and it felt good. I was like, yeah, this is who I am. This is what I love doing. And so I'm looking forward. So that's why I have getting me my equipment, and even if my sons, I'm going to ask them, like, just get mommy an early present, because I don't celebrate Christmas, I don't really do holiday. I never, even when I was growing up, even though I didn't grow up in a Muslim home, I was never about like holidays, like really like crazy holidays. I never was like crazy about it. I was like, no, you know what? If you love somebody, just give them something because you love them. Then that was always who I was.
No particular day, right?
Yeah. So I was like, even if they don't get the camera, I have plans to get my own camera. A nice mirrorless camera that I could work with. I feel comfortable with, because those photos came from that. They didn't even come from a iPhone.
It could be a group gift.
Yeah,
that's
that,
right.
exactly,
Be a group
exactly. I
Instead
tell
of
my boys
just one
get a gift.
person, have for them a group gift.
Thank
if
you, Debbie.
possible.
See,
group
Debbie and me
gift.
gonna hang
Wow.
out. Me and Debbie got it going.
Make
We
the
work-
list, Amazon list.
Yeah.
gift
No,
list.
because if you want a good camera, I
Yeah.
think a group gift would be better, because that way
Yeah.
it's not just one person.
Yeah.
Right.
At least everybody, whatever they can afford.
Wow.
Yeah, they could chip in and
chip
get it.
in
The
and
joint gift that mommy
Yeah.
can use.
Yeah, give mommy
and,
a gift. Mommy wants
yeah,
this
that would
gift
be
right
nice.
now. I
They'll
want
be
a camera.
happy to see you using it.
Yeah,
All of
yeah.
them.
Actually, my youngest son, he is actually a commercial photographer and he's a graphic designer.
Wow.
He did a photo shoot for Nas, and he's in Jersey City, and he has his own brand. It was called Pray or Prey on Someone. He would create things like that.
Okay.
So he was selling, when he was younger, he was selling T-shirts and stuff, and some of his friends, and growing together. He DJs. That's my young one. He's that creative kind of guy.
Oh, wow.
So
He's
he does that as
talented.
well. Yeah, and I'd asked him about some cameras. He didn't have any cameras that he can give me old cameras, but he's a graphic. He's involved and stuff like that. But
How
I do
old's
see
your youngest?
my youngest. He actually, I think I was thinking about that. My youngest is going to be 33.
Wow.
33,
My oldest, she's going to
born
be
1991.
Yeah, he's 91. I have another one before him was 1993. The one before him was 1988, and then my daughter is 1986.
Oh, okay.
Those are my kids. Yeah, my
Nice.
babies.
You're blessed with
I
children
thank
too.
God.
So I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Yes.
This is not one of the questions. It's a simple question.
Okay.
What is your day like?
Oh, my day.
Just any
day?
Any day.
Well, okay. We'll
You know,
pick
like
it.
from morning to evening.
Okay.
Just
well,
a general.
Okay. Well, when I get up in the morning, okay, I do get up in the morning, wash up quick. I wash up, I do my prayers. I listen to we call it du'as. It's like praises
All right.
to Allah. So I listen to there's a guy, his name is Omar. Omar.
Is this on Zoom?
This
or?
is on YouTube or something.
YouTube.
It's
Oh,
like I
yeah.
put it on,
All
to
right.
put it on. And I'll do that, and while I'm getting dressed or whatever. If I have to go to work, I go to work, or schedules, whatever. I look at my phone, and I look at what emails came or what things I have to do. And I always, in my mind, and it's always in my head, what schedule I have for the week. So I said, okay, it's this day right now. This is what I put down. This is what I have to do. So after I do that, if I have to go to work, I get myself ready to go to work. I'm at work. I make calls to people I want to talk with. My work is where I work. It's a particular place. I go there. I do whatever I want. All I have to do is make sure that people are not taking anything out of the flagship store. These are the employees, not the customers. I deal with them, and that's it. Now, I'll give you another day, like today. That's what I did this morning. Boom, I went and took care of some business, that with my son. I was on the phone with him and everything. Hey, I'm here for this interview. After I finish this interview today, I'm going back. I have to go to Jersey City, take care of some more business over there. Well, actually, I'm going to go to do prayers first, then go take care of business over there. Then I'm coming back to New York. There's an event at MoMA that I signed up for, so I'm going to do that.
Nice.
Then when I finish that, I'm going to go back to Jersey City to the house that I watch, and then I'm going to go do all my prayers, and then there's some things I have to do at home. I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to be getting ready for the next day. So it depends on what I have to do. This also want to let you know, and I'll give you the flyers as well. There is this group called Harlem Dance Club, and they're called the M6. And so I signed up. It's an African dance troupe.
Nice.
So I'm taking some African dance classes on Saturday, and I'm volunteering for them as well. I'm giving out flyers. But we're going to have a festival. We're going to perform in Harlem on September 21st. Okay, and it's going to be African dance. It's free. For the public, I'll give you a flyer for that because that's what I'll do. So this weekend, which is I'm happy about, I'm going to do that. On Sunday is when I'm going to volunteer and give flyers out because that's Harlem Day. But after I finish with them from 1 to 3:30, Covenant House, I volunteer for Covenant House. They're having a sleep out. One of the alumni, so they want me to do some activities with the youth. So I'm going to be with them from 6 to 11 at night on Sunday. Then I'm going to get home and I'm do the rest of my prayers. Get ready for the next day. So I keep myself involved.
You're very busy, yeah.
Yeah, involved.
But
in
not
things.
too busy that it's crazy busy.
Yeah, not crazy. And these are the things that I love doing, whatever. And at the same time, okay, I have personal things I have to do. I'm okay, I got to get my resume back together. So I'm going to do my resume.
Yeah, because I'm hearing some that you taking care of your self-care as well.
Yeah. So I have to get my resume together. I'm like, okay, Wanda, because I used to work 2 jobs before. And it's a way. It was like, okay, work this job in a day, work this one 12 to 8 in the morning, go to this job at 8:30 in the morning, finish at 6. But now, so I'm going to end up working 2 jobs. I'm going to do that for like another year. I want to work 2 jobs so I could set my finances well, take care of, things I want to take care of and get the things I want to do. So I'm going to do that. So that's something like also like I'm going to be working on that resume. Then also the house that I watch, the young lady, she's coming over. And when she comes, I prepared the house for her. I took all my stuff out of the house because they're going to work on that house. And so I'm just going to go and figuring out, okay, well, where are you going to go for the next maybe 2 months or 3 months? I'm actually, that's what I'm doing. So see, I'm here,
You're
there.
planning,
I'm planning,
Like
and
you're
I'm writing.
making 2 trips to New Jersey and coming
Yeah,
back.
yeah, I've done that.
That's-
Yeah, because
that's not a problem.
That's not a problem. No, and I don't mind because I love traveling and stuff, and everything like that. But most of the time, the usual things I do, I get up and I do my prayers. Before I leave that house, those prayers are done. Every prayer that I have to do a certain time, like when I'm working, it doesn't interfere. There's a mosque right by my job uptown, so I go to work, go to my lunch hour, I take my lunch hour, I go to pray, do what I have to do, get to work, finish my job, do whatever else I have to do. Finish there, I go do my prayer. I go to the mosque. I actually go. I see NYU.
Yes.
I go there. That's where I go. There's a
mosque?
there's a spiritual center there, and that's where I go to. I see NYU, and that's where I do my prayers. That's the post I go to. I raise my children on 96th and 3rd Avenue. I used to bring them from New Jersey to 96th and 3rd Avenue. We go, hey, I know all those people there and all those places. So yeah.
Wow.
That's like my day is like those kind of days.
That's
like,
my old neighborhood, but above
yeah?
106th Street and 3rd Avenue,
Oh, really?
the Franklin Plaza.
Oh, okay. I'll be uptown like all the time. I should be 145th Street a lot, all of that area. Yeah. So that's like what my day looks like. Taking care of me and doing other things that I'm involved with and stuff, and finding other things that are exciting and ways to like, just like I said, help people. I'm also involved with this issue of food insecurity. So I'm like on the advisory committee. I'm on the subcommittee. I'm on an evaluation committee with different organizations. But this is for New Jersey. So I do a lot of things for them. So I'm on the Zoom meetings. I'm looking over a lot of documents, evaluating, like they were giving out proposals. I would evaluate the proposals and rating them for what should be approved or not. So see, I'm involved in like all these kind of things. Yeah, and that's
Yeah, but good causes.
Yeah, good causes. Yeah, and things that really are like really affecting people. And my thing is I'm into, like I said, helping people, especially people that, we're in underdeserved neighborhoods. We don't have the power. We do not have the power.
You're their voice.
Yeah, and that's what I try to do my best to be that and set them straight too. Like, oh no, that is not acceptable. You know what I mean?
Well, for the young people,
Yes,
they need an adult figure.
Yes.
And they see that you have succeeded. Even when you felt you were low, you said, I'm going to get up again.
Yeah. It's like, I don't care. It's like...
It's the ups and downs of life.
Yes, exactly. It's
You're
like
a great
so,
role model. You're a great role model for them.
I try my best to be. Yeah, I really try my best. And that is like, to me, that's when I feel as though I'm the most happiest. And that's what I said when, like, I have to just walk in my purpose no matter what's there. I don't have any fear. I don't have whatever. I know the game plan, But hey, it is what it is. And only thing people can do to me is this. I'm going to live and I'm going to die. So my decision is like, okay, but how do I want to live? I want to live in my purpose, or do I want to continue to live in fear?
You can't live in fear.
No, because you can't. Exactly. I won't be living. No. I'm living in my purpose, doing whatever, and making sure the best that I can in my ability that I don't intentionally hurt anyone, and I make sure they try not to intentionally hurt me. And if they do, it's okay. because I'm trying to get somewhere else. I'm trying to get to heaven. I'm trying to get, and heaven is peaceful. You know what I mean?
Look, we gotta get going.
Yes.
We got things to do, places to go. Okay,
Yes.
that's what I be telling people.
Yes.
I got places to
go.
Okay?
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Look, get out of my way. If you want to join me, come along.
Right. And if you don't, it's okay.
That's okay. We'll see you later. You know.
Yeah. So mostly the time I'm by myself. Most of the time I'm by myself. Like even when I'm watching the house, I'm by myself. I'm not with anybody. Like, you know, I don't have a husband. I don't have boyfriends. I don't do that. You know what I mean? You know, people I know people, and I know all different kinds of people. I know people with money, people who don't got money, people who's here. I know people out in the street doing stuff. I know people, you know, but basically I'm by myself. You know, nobody's taking care of me. You know what I mean?
You're taking care of yourself.
As far as this is concerned, yeah.
You're taking care
Take
of
care of
yourself.
myself.
Yep.
You're so independent. There's like individualism.
There's nobody there. When am I gonna sit
You
there?
have to-
Like I'm
you
gonna sit and wait and say, "Oh,
You can't wait on
Allah send
anybody.
Papi Chulo to me, please,
can't-
right now." No,
You gotta
no.
take care of yourself.
Yeah, I have my goals, I have my ambitions, and I have my ways, and I'm not settling. I'm not settling.
Wow.
I'm not settling, no matter what it is.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Because some of these questions you kind of answered already.
Okay.
What advice do you give to your 18-year-old self?
18. Where was I?
That was a
18.
deep question.
That is a deep one. That one I was like,
I think you can handle it.
yeah, I can handle it. My 18-year-old self. All right, I was going off the. Okay. When you get to college, what you need to do is you need to really focus more. Because what's going to happen is your transcripts are not going to show a true representation of your intelligence and your ability. That's it.
That's good.
And I had just wrote something about that when I was talking about that, going to school. That's another reason why I'm like, I always wanted to go back to school.
And you're going to do it.
And that's what exactly, you know, and this is funny, as research coming up more and more, and I'm manifesting it. And yes, I'm like, and I pray that I want to go back to school. I have an undergraduate degree.
Did you study at new school?
No, I worked at the new school in the
worked at the new
bursar's
school,
office after I graduated from college. But I went to school upstate New York for a year. And then the person who worked in admissions at Cortland State ended up going to work at Cornell University. I could have went to Cornell. But you know, it's nice. I was young. I was like,
Upstate New York.
Upstate New York. I could have went to Cornell. I went to Cortland State. Then I was like, okay, I was transfer. But I said no. I said I had a friend who went to school in Virginia. They went to Hampton University, which is Hampton University now. It was Hampton Institute at the time. I said, they said it's okay there, so let me just go to Virginia. I applied to Spelman College. They accepted me. They told me stay just one more semester at the college I was at in Cortland to bring my GPA up. I was like, no, I couldn't have stayed in them. I was like, I cannot stand here no more. You know, 18-year-olds like, you know, I want it now. You know, 18-year-olds were like,
Now,
I want it now. Nah, I got to make change
what
out of
is
here.
this waiting?
Nah, I'm not waiting. I got to go. So I ended up going to Hampton. And I lived off campus. It took me, 4 years to get out of there. 4 years. But my GPA, and I learned a lot. And I was a psychology major. But across the hall was the business department. And there was a gentleman that taught from IBM. And I said, let me take this computer class. Let me take this class with him. It was Fortran. That's when you wrote out your flow charts as far as computer, right? I learned all of that.
Level, yeah.
I loved all of that. But you know what? I said, nah. I said, you know what? I said, I love this. I said, but you know, I like working with the mind. The mind is a machine. I'm going to be a psychology major. So that's when I went and transferred back to become a psych major. And I majored in psychology, and I minored in research. I love research and statistics. And I was real good at that. You know, and it's funny, for one summer, I went and I took a science class at NYU for the summer. I said, let me get my credits there. Sciences, I got A's in science. I love science, biology and everything. You know, I love all those things, but I was like, let me be a psychologist. So, yeah, so I graduated a psychology major, but I minored more so in research. I love statistics and research. I love doing that, you know. And it's funny with all of this, through the times, being homeless and going through what I was going through, there's this program in the Bronx, and the Department of Labor was offering learning technology.
Yes.
And I went through that program. I did all of that. I know how to design the back end. I know how to do the front end and design it where I don't need to necessarily go to WordPress. I can do every little computer thing myself if I wanted. I love doing that. To me, I said, to me, that's games. Okay, so I know a lot of different languages. I know Python. I know these things. It's just about the time to sit and practice all this stuff. That's also why I like this video editing, you know, Logic Pro. And I love all of that. I mean, that adds to it. Final Cut. I know about all these things, you know, but I know about, I know Python. I know some other,
what's your favorite
science? Yeah,
computer language?
Yeah, and computer science. Maybe I should have minded it's computer science. And when I took the assessment, that when you go and take when you go to get with the city and stuff, and they take this assessment test for you and everything. Hey, one of the top things was for me computer science. I said, but I like
probably science
like justice.
Too.
Yeah,
science too.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm good at that. You know, my children, they were also always good in science. They were, all of them, they're good in science and great in art. I had one son, he won all contests in art. He was to sit and draw. He made all his characters. He was animation. I used to say, Ali, I just need to find your stuff. I said, I could work with you. I could start all this. We can do this. I could help you, Mommy. But, yeah. So, So it would be that. I'd have to tell my 18-year-old that. Just focus. You know, but...
See, but now you're focusing.
Yeah. I'm very, I've been very focused.
You're very focused.
It was meant for me to happen now. But what I laugh about is it's really happening now. It's like everything that I want and I've been striving for, and I'm seeing that it's coming in fruition. And you know, sometimes you have to realize when you want something and you ask for something. Sometimes there's things that you need to do before you get it, and it comes to you, because if you get it too early, you don't do it, and then you become more disappointed. And what I'm saying is, and I think also the reason why the fact that I had those life experiences, and these are things that I could share with adults as well as children and women and children, and I have this passion, people period, but mostly women and children, and seeing to help out, is because the number one thing they don't have is they don't have support. Because they need support. You really need support. You really need somebody to be there, to kind of help you in that foundation. They don't have that.
But did you have support?
No, that's what I'm saying. I will say to you, even to this day, and I was talking to someone, and I was saying, it's funny, I said, I'm older now, and I've been seeing life, and me being Muslim and seeing Allah, because my faith is very alhamdulillah, I thank God. Like I said, I know you've been loving me all the time, but and He's support. But as far as a human support, I don't feel I've ever had human support. From growing up at home and Mom, I didn't have those things. I didn't grow up in a secure home, and it's not about, people don't realize it's not about the money, because there are many people that grow up with so much less. You don't have that money. Right. It's the support. It's the encouragement. It's the possibilities of knowing that, hey, you can do it. All right. So whatever confidence I have, whatever would have you, came from Him, because I didn't have that. I didn't have Mom doing that.
Allah gave you that strength to have the confidence that you can do things in life.
Exactly. And you're more than that. And see, one thing I will say about my mom, she didn't say it too much, and she wasn't in my life like that. But funny thing is, it was what I kind of learned from her, and it's just seeing her, not talking with her, like how you sit down with your mom and you talk and she gives you lessons. It wasn't even like that. Just seeing her, looking at her life, right? And I'm saying to myself, it's funny. Hey, the world is all mine. What do I want to do with it?
You probably did the opposite of what your mother was doing.
Yeah, a lot of it. And it's a lot, yeah. She grew up in a different time. You have to think, her age and her time, think about it. That was probably one or two, not even. She was around during the time of, she was born in 1929. 1928. So she's like a generation after slavery or something like that. Right? So she grew up in that. Plus she grew up in the South, right?
It's still segregated. It was segregated then at that time, right?
And she grew up, and it's funny when my sister, she was doing the DNA chart, you know how you do the ancestry, and she was like, she saw there was a gentleman, his last name was Miller, and he was a Jewish guy in that thing. I said, well, maybe that was his, your grandpa's or great-grandfather's son, or maybe, but he was in that lineage. And then my grandmother was like a Blackfoot Indian, and my mother's father African American. So all that was there too. The Indians were there, and you know what I mean. Still at that time with working the plantations and working what have you, right? So think about it. She came from that, and she was of 8 children, and she was the third youngest of 8 children. One of her sisters passed. Her oldest sister was the one that came to the North, and then brought her mother, them, and everybody later. But that one sister died. And then her brother was in the army. She wasn't close. It was one guy, and the rest was all women. And the one sister, she died young. And things, so you got to think about that.
That's true, because one of my mother's friends, she remembered being brought up as a child in the South, she was picking cotton.
Yeah. You see?
Yeah, she was picking cotton, and how it messed up her hands, and and that was rough for her.
Yeah, you see?
So she already knew she was going to be doing something else.
Exactly. And
that must be thorny, right?
Yeah, and even during that time, you have to think about it too. You got to think about, like they were there. These are the things that were going on. Most people at that time too, when it came time, they came to the North because they thought it was different. No, but it was still racism, but it was in a different form. All right, it was presented different.
It was you lived in your section.
Yeah,
knew your place.
Yeah,
but it wasn't as bad as down south.
It wasn't being down south. You felt as though you had more freedom. But then the people that came from the South, most of the time, they went to Harlem or they went to Brooklyn. They went to these different places when she came, right? But when they were here, also, it was a flux of. Then you got all different races and people coming from all over. Because it's a migration.
East side.
I grew up in the Lower East Side.
That's more diversified.
Yeah, I grew up in that. That's why I'm saying one thing I will say I grew up like that, like the world. I didn't know about, like you couldn't turn my TV in my house when we had a TV. We didn't look at the things that were happening in civil rights. I didn't know all of that. Let me tell you when I learned all that. And I knew all that when I was older because I didn't grow up like that. I grew up with, they were Irish. I grew up with Jews. I grew up with Chinese, Korean, Puerto Rican.
There was a big Puerto Rican, which I didn't know till I got older too. Yeah. In the Lower East Side.
It was great. Right across the street from Forsyth Street and Eldridge. You know where the Jewish Museum now and Eldridge Museum. That wasn't just Jewish. I used to go to the Eldridge Street Museum. I mean, it was Eldridge. It was community center, like Grand Street Settlement, all of those things, and even it looked so different. Like I went there and I was like, wow, wait, East Broadway, Allen Street, they didn't have all of this. What's up, First Avenue? I grew up with that. We knew the guy in the Essex Street Market. We knew the butcher. They knew, okay, Miss Alzonia. They used to call my mother Mary. That was her nickname, Mary. Everybody knew her as Mary. Her name was Alzonia, right? But they used to call, okay, Mary, what you want today? Get the meat there. You knew the butchers. It was different. I grew up around all races of people. My friends, Providencia was a Dominicano. She used to hang out with my sisters, and everything. Because I didn't hang out in my neighborhood. And that's the thing about me. I never hung out in my neighborhood. I always left my neighborhood. I would be by myself. I didn't care. That's how I was. I hung in my neighborhood a little bit. I wasn't really there. In my neighborhood when I grew up in the Lower East Side.
You were inquisitive.
Yeah, I was outside. I was like, hey, I left. I went to school. I went to Lower East Side Preparatory High School. It wasn't where it is now. It was down in Park Row. I went to school there when it first started. And
Park
people,
Row, we have Pace University.
yeah, around that area. Yeah, it
But
was
you have
different.
the huge exposure to other cultures.
Right, I was exposed to other cultures, other people, and I saw people as being people. It wasn't a race. It wasn't a race thing. Only thing like I knew about races, it was like, oh, in my house, it was like, oh, you're dark, you're black, you're you're ugly.
Sometimes among your own kind,
That it
because
was.
even when I was in Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, you're
Yeah,
light.
you olive.
You're
You're
light.
light?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not dark.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Exactly.
Like, and if you're white, that's even better.
Oh yeah, my God, you made it. You got. Oh my
Yeah.
God, you're pale. You made it. Oh my God, that's why when the TVs they show all that.
It's amazing, the racism
colorism.
in your own culture.
Is
Well,
there?
That happens.
Yeah.
I lived in the Philippines.
Oh.
So when I was there, they called me petite. That's
Potato?
white.
Yeah, white.
White.
Right.
So I was
Yeah.
told you are dark in Japanese
because,
culture because
yeah.
my sister's lighter than me.
Wow.
But to their eyes, I'm white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And this is what I'm saying. And that's the thing about it. Yeah. So I grew up like it's in my house, and like I said before, like my sister's father was Turkish and German. My father is Indonesian. Okay? My younger sister and brother, no. German was my older sister's father, right? My younger sister and brother, their father was Turkish and German. My father was Indonesian. And I had my brother. I don't know who his dad was. Do you understand what I'm saying? But this is how it was. And my father was 22 years older than my mom. He was a merchant marine. And he died when I was young. So I didn't know my dad. You know what I mean? I have the pictures of him. But I knew we used to have this guy named Uncle Sally because they owned a club down on Grand Street at that time. So Uncle Sally would come all the time and bring lamb heads every weekend. So we were happy. My mom would make that lamb head.
How high can you go? I said, how high can you go? 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 Hey! What are you doing up there? Wait, you came from what? First to fifth to the 10th floor, the 15th floor? Hey, I'm talking to you!